What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we have a very sad, somber mood, or it's a somber note that I'm making this video. Last night at about, 10 o'clock or so, social media news reports started reporting that the Ultimate Warrior had passed away. Now, at first, it's one of those things where, dude, he was just on Raw the night before, so there's no fucking, it's a joke, it's a scam, it's some of that bullshit. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the rumors that he died already. I mean, he's died like 7 times already. He's got more lives than a cat. And, there was, fake warriors, and, I mean, you name it, the rumors about the Ultimate Warrior throughout the years have been just about as legendary as he was, or is. Just his camera angle. So it wasn't long after that it was confirmed that he had passed away. As it is right now, it sounds like it could have been a heart attack. It does not sound like foul play or suicide or some kind of substance overdose. And I went back and I watched the speech that he gave on Monday night. And I thought it was interesting because Scott Hall was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Jake the Snake Roberts was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Lita, Carlos, I can't pronounce his last name, but Carlito's dad. And, Scott Hall and Jake the Snake Roberts had a very hard road to the Hall of Fame. Both substance abuse problems, getting clean, I mean, you name it, hip surgeries, all kinds of stuff going on. But they chose the Warrior to give him time on Monday Night Raw, which I found very interesting. Not that he wasn't a legend, not that he deserved it, but I was just like, oh, cool, the Warrior's on, that's awesome. I've always loved the Warrior since I was a kid. When he came out, ball of fire, running to the ring, hair flying, the tassels tied to his arms. I mean, you couldn't just help but look at him as being the super face, of wrestling back then. Hogan was the heel, he was the face, but there was just something about him that was so captivating that no matter what, he'd never be a heel. He'd never be hated by fans. It's just the way it is. It's like he just doesn't have that persona no matter what he does. And I remember growing my hair out like him. I had hair like the Ultimate Warrior. And of course, he had the physique back then when, there was big guys, but there really wasn't those lean, hard physiques that the guys started to get later on. And he just was an original. You were drawn to him. So I went back and watched some of the speech that he gave on Monday night. Not so much the Hall of Fame, because they only showed a little piece of that, but on Monday Night Raw. And first of all, he didn't look well to me. He looked like Ric Flair did before he then had some health complications. And Ric Flair would never look the same ever since. He has that red look to his face. He looks unhealthy. And he seemed out of breath, which is normal, because if you're going in front of, 15,000 people or 10,000 people, the adrenaline pumps and you get out of breath. But he had a hard time walking, it looked like, and moving around. And although he's the Warrior and he thinks fast, he seemed a little bit, I don't know, just different. Not that hard, that same intensity that he always had. Strength, yes, but intensity, no. And the things that he said about heart beating the last beat and the lungs taking their last breath and legendary and all these things, it makes me wonder if they knew, if he knew. And Vince McMahon knew. Vince actually whispered to Lita, guys, enjoy this because you never know when it's going to be your last time ever. And that was before they went out for the Hall of Fame, intro on the stage. So I do feel like, and I don't know for a fact, this is speculation, but I feel like the Ultimate Warrior knew, Vince knew, some other people may have known, and they decided to give him this time. I mean, obviously he didn't know he was going to die the next day, but I think he knew his time was limited, and he made amends with everybody in the locker room. He went to the new talent. I mean, it just seemed like, someone whose time was ticking, and he was trying to make amends with everyone around him to leave the earth on a positive note and just get rid of everything. Now, speaking myself as a former professional wrestler, I took bumps. I've done the gorilla presses. I've taken the gorilla presses like he did. I've done the splashes. I've taken the splashes. The wear and tear that stuff has on your body when you go through that. There's some tough guys out there. And you see them every night on Monday Night Raw, every night on, the WWE Network. And, the Warrior was one of these guys that paved that pathway. He paved the road for these guys to be able to do what they do. He was one of the first power wrestlers that had intensity, power, personality, looks. He had it all. There were big guys in the WWE, but they didn't have that combination. He was one of the first overall blends that made the WWF, then WWE characters now larger than life. Before that, they were all pretty much even. Then you had Hulk Hogan and Andre and a few standouts, and then came the Warrior. So I don't know what to say. I mean, it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would, maybe because it came out of the blue, and I was really overjoyed to see him Sunday at WrestleMania. But then Monday, I was actually like sitting forward in the chair. I'm like, wow, the Warrior. And they put the mask on. I thought, that's kind of weird. You know, he's wearing a mask. Like the eye things weren't even where his eyes were, but he kept going with the interview, and he did his shoot. And when all was said and done, he looked like I just thought he was getting older. You know, the abuse on your joints from the lifting weights and heavy weights and all the bumps he took, and you know, I just figured, hey, we'll chalk it up to age. But I didn't know he was only 54. I had no idea. I thought he was older than that, the way he was moving around. When they said that he died at 54, I was kind of shocked. So I don't know. Like he said in his interview, all the warriors in the world fought for him. Whenever anyone tried to dog him and turn their backs on him, the Warriors spoke up, and the Warriors fought for years and years and years and years until he finally got in the Hall of Fame. And that's great that he got to see that before he passed away. You think about people who left their mark on the world who are never going to get to see it, like Bruce Lee. Who the fuck doesn't know who Bruce Lee is? There's like 8-year-olds right now who don't even know who the fucking president of the United States is, but they know who Bruce Lee is. But Bruce Lee never got to see his impact on the world. I mean, he's an icon, a cultural icon, a pop icon. He's iconic in so many ways that he didn't even know. I mean, it wasn't until he passed away that he became even bigger of an icon. And the Warrior is the same thing in the wrestling business, and he crossed over into mainstream comic books and stuff, but he get to see it, and that's awesome. So if I had a bell, I'd ring it 10 times for the Warrior, but I don't. So Bios3 training, and we're out.
ExtremeLiving.biz would like to announce that we are bringing Jerry Ward of Bios3 Training and Jason English of Big J's Extreme Fitness to our booth at the 2014 Blue Ridge Fitness Festival, where Mark the Machine Lowbliner will hold the ANBF Natural Bodybuilding Show. More information can be found at ExtremeLiving.biz. See you there.